Hey everyone, this is all about small group mini lessons. Before you continue, make sure you have a processing partner. Here are some awesome tips that I wish I knew my first year in Laddie. Did you know that small group mini lessons are actually an interactive board? You can have a sign-up spot. Have a place in your room for students to sign up for small group mini lessons. Have a section on the sign up for overflow in case there are more than, let's say, give or take 6 kids wanting to come. You can even have a spot for them to request a topic for a small group mini lesson from you or from a peer. For those friends who are not signing up but need to come, you can invite them. Be creative. You can laminate blank party invitations and leave it in their work folder or on their desk. I know my kids get really excited to find an invitation to a small group mini lesson when they walk in the morning. Work smarter, not harder. If you have more than 6 students wanting to attend, I would have an overflow spot for them to sign up, and you can either have another small group mini lesson for the overflow kids, or you can even videotape yourself and have them watch it. You can even post it online, send it on Dojo to parents. You can also have your experts teach it for you. If you filmed it, students can revisit this small group mini lesson as many times as they need. You can post it on your website, wherever you have it. Make a QR code, post it around the room in the resource area. Now here's something that's super helpful. A small group mini lesson bell or a small group, whatever kind of noise you can come up with so you're not interrupting the whole flow of the class. Since you're going to be holding small group mini lessons throughout the day, it's helpful to have a noise that lets the class know the small group mini lesson is beginning but without disrupting the flow. So, if you ring a bell or have a special sound, that signals those students to come to your lesson, but without shouting and yelling, "Hey, I'm doing a small group mini lesson." It's just a subtle way to get kids to come to you. Tips part 2. Make sure your small group mini lessons are planned in advance. Small group mini lessons are always planned. They're not on the fly. That's a big myth. You always plan for your small groups. You have a lesson prepared for it. A great way to plan for a small group mini lesson is to use the I do, we do, and you do model. When you give them the you do piece, that's when you can walk away for a little bit and you can facilitate the room and go back and check on them, then facilitate. Remember, facilitation is spur of the moment. Small group mini lessons are always planned. Small group mini lessons are always data driven. Small group mini lessons are driven by data and held either the next day or the next time the students are scheduling. What data can you use? You can use your facilitation grids. You can use assessments such as exit tickets, formative assessments, Kahoot, Nearpod. Another thing that is really helpful is to look for trends on the help board. If you see a lot of kids needing help for the same thing, you might want to pull a small group mini lesson. Look in their work folders. This gives you a view of the whole child. And of course, seesaw pictures and videos. Here's a little tip to make sure you hold yourself accountable for holding small group mini lessons. This tip really helped me and held me accountable. If you put it on the activity list, I often have options on the activity list where they can either learn with a partner or by themselves or with me in a small group mini lesson. Sometimes kids, they can't watch a video and learn, or they can't work with another person and learn. They really need that direct instruction from the teacher, and if they have that option to do a small group mini lesson, they can choose it, and then that holds me accountable for doing small group mini lessons because it's easy to kind of push it to the side. So for instance, I'll tell them, hey, at 10 a.m. I'm doing a small group mini lesson on one more and one less. And then I'm holding a small group mini lesson. If you choose to learn with me, or let's say maybe a peer expert for this activity, I'll see you at 10. And this way, if they get to that activity and it's not 10 a.m., they know to just keep on moving. They know to move on until it's time. So there's power in learning from your peers. Students learn best from their peers. Use this to your advantage. Take those experts and have them host a small group mini lesson. This is a win-win for you and your students. If you have time, watch this video below. If not, you can watch it later. It's a student who has, it's from the IDE portal. It's a student who has become a peer expert in the physics concept of velocity and has been asked to lead a small group mini lesson with fellow students. As you can see, the teacher is facilitating other students while continuing to monitor the small group mini lesson activity. The peer expert uses a whiteboard as a visual aid, and participating students use whiteboards or notebooks to solve the questions. Students work collaboratively to find solutions. Note, the students in the background self-assessing by checking an answer key. All right.
We're gonna assume it doesn't stick together because it says no, it doesn't. It bounces off. Okay, so that's really we know that M1
Pretty cool, right? And pretty powerful when students can teach each other and learn from each other. Turn and talk. I want you to share 3 things that were interesting to you with your partner, 2 things that you want to take back to your classroom and try, and 1 question you still have. And you can email those questions to Joel and I. Thanks for watching.